We added in. So welcome everyone. I was just so what I this what I tried to do, Brandy. I tried to put um a um a thumbnail that showed that we were coming on Sunday with the topic, but I wasn't sure if it would connect with the StreamYard, and apparently it did. So now I know I can preset uh my bad. Now I know I can preset everything, and I'm talking to you. I ain't even pulled you back on the stage yet. But now I know that I can preset it on YouTube, and it's already connected to StreamYard for me. Because I was like, I don't want it to go live, and it ain't connected. And yeah, anywho, welcome to the Fade and Flow show, everyone. You have joined First Sunday with myself and Brandy, aka Lady Faded. We are with show number 7, episode number 55, and we was actually talking about this in the barbershop. We talk about it all the time, but let me go ahead and put up the title so everybody know what the title of the show is today. So we're episode number 55, show number 7 of the Fade and Flow show with Brandy and Yate. Hey, WK, thank you for joining. WK says, hi, everyone. Let's get these comments up. Brandy, can you read the comments too from your end? Can you see the
Sometimes I
comments?
can, sometimes it's like very small, but
Okay,
for the most part,
gotcha.
I can zoom
Okay,
in and see what's going on.
gotcha. I just want to make sure that both of us are seeing the comments as I'm learning this platform. So look, I was in here just kind of fumbling around, and I noticed in the media section, now they got applause. Check that out. We got some hand claps. We got some boos. We got a whole bunch of little audience sound here. I was like, okay, StreamYard stepping up the game. They should with how much look the what we're paying for, they should. But nonetheless, tonight's episode, um, I want to say this. Every barber can name someone. We can name someone who helped us grow or who helped them grow, and someone who almost made them quit. I've been on both sides. So look, tonight's topic, woo. So here it is, y'all. Today we're talking about the real impact seasoned barbers and shop owners have on young barbers or new barbers entering into the industry. Um, the question is, are we guiding the next generation? We guiding them, or are we guarding the gate? In other words, gatekeeping. So Brandon and I, we're going to discuss this. We've had plenty of conversations about this in the barbershop. So when I was over at the Lady Faded Barbering Lounge, I was like, you know what? This is something we got to talk about. And we also talked about another subject. Y'all got to come back for First Sunday next month to catch that topic, because that's going to be, yeah, that's going to be something as well, because we both have stories. We believe that it could help in the barbering community as well. And then springtime, we got some fun stuff coming up. So y'all stay tuned. But nonetheless, let's get into this topic. Let's talk about the wins, the wounds, and what responsibility really looks like behind the chair for seasoned barbers and shop owners, just those of us who've been in it for a minute, and we got these newbies coming in. So we're going to talk about the pros, the cons. We got a few little, things that we're going to share with you all as it relates to, are we gatekeepers or are we guys? And the question really is, or the challenge, we influence those younger generations because we've been in it. Whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it don't matter, or 20 years. we still have an influence on the young barbers and the new barbers coming in, because they're looking to us, right, Brandon?
Hmm.
They look
That's
to
right.
us, you know. Some of them even get into the business because of us. You know what I'm saying? So um, let's start off about the power of influence. Let's talk about influence. How do we as barbers influence the young ones, or the new barbers coming in? What does that look like? Look, I see you all cozied up.
Yeah, my warming blanket. That's right. It's cold.
Hey man, can I tell you? I call myself. I started to pull up a picture to show the snow here. Uh, this isn't a state that normally gets snow like your northern states. So I haven't even been on the road. I, I see how people drive when it's raining. You know, I'm like, nah, let me stay my little behind right in the house until this melts.
Right.
Until this melts, and you know, we yeah. Anywho, tonight's show is about us as barbers, seasoned barbers, and shop owners being gatekeepers or guides, and how seasoned barbershops can shape the next generation. So we got comments flowing in already. Let's see here. Oh, hey, who that? Shantavia Bolton. Thank you for joining. Greatly appreciated. Thank
What
you.
up,
Say
though?
hey, ladies. Is that Gracie Denise? I keep Shantavia Bolton. Let's see. Oh, that's right. The Carolinas are getting snow now. Yeah. We really are getting snow, and it's I couldn't even see the sidewalk outside. That's all I'm gonna say.
A little
Oh
scary, ain't it?
man, I'm telling you, and I'm from Florida originally, so we very rarely see snow unless we going to visit some folks up north.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. So, Brandon, what's what do you when you think about the power of influence? What comes to mind for you when you think about that, and how it relates to us as barbers in the next generation? You know, or the
Um,
newbies, those coming in, even the ones who at the window looking in, thinking, well, should I go in? Do I want to do this? You know, uh,
well,
it,
first off, I think it's being a leader. Be a leader. Don't
yeah,
follow with nobody else. Um, Once they see that you're a leader, then they attach to you,
right,
and they listen to you. And that's one of the things I think it is. And when it's like that, they tend to, listen to you more
right,
versus talk about other shops, talking about other barbers, talk about no, we're gonna talk about how I do things if you want to learn some things, how I
right,
do things, and I can also tell them what I'm still learning. So you got
right,
to tell them your positive and your negatives. You can't just be
right,
always positive because it ain't always like that.
right. That
You
is so
got your
true.
yeah, you got your
Because you
times
even
where
at me coming in, I was coming to you, Brandon. I'm still struggling with this fade. Cut the hair, y'all cut the hair. So
yeah,
you know I was gonna bring it up. You know I was gonna bring it up.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
that's leadership amongst us. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
So you're right. You're right. Mentorship, you know, there are things that I look to you in terms of mentorship.
Right.
Running your
And
own
vice
shop,
versa.
how you run it. You know what I'm saying? You went from booth rental to shop ownership. You
Mhm.
know, though I've had a business for years, um, I've never ran a barbershop.
Mhm.
Yes, I've had leadership in other aspects. My military career, when I was in the interior design field, though we carry our soft skills into this, it's still there's still a difference. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? There's
Mhm.
still a difference. So you mentor me, you offer guidance to me as well. And it's also about, you know, the power of influence is about legacy building as well,
Right.
too. Yeah. So I
Well,
want
it's
to
vice versa too. I learned a lot of stuff from you too, because sometimes I feel like I just want to flip out, and then I just, when we have our moments and talks.
right,
So
right,
I mean, it's
right,
vice versa, because sometimes, my attitude can probably be a little disturbing at times when they disturb it. So I have
right.
to talk to you sometimes about, hey, what you think? Because I'm
What
about
you
to
think?
flip. And I
It's
know
like
you always calm. You calm and you handle things well. So I look to you for having the calming me down side. You know what I'm saying?
I
'Cause
appreciate that. I do. People don't. I, I'm the type of person. I don't know if it's being the oldest,
Mhm,
having to have that self control, and then being in various work environments.
mhm,
I have to really be pushed to, you know what I'm saying? Go there. I'm
yeah,
just saying, I got to really
yeah,
be backed in the corner or pushed to go there. And even in going there, I'm strategic with my words and I'm mindful. I'm mindful.
right.
Um, what one of my sisters say? You sure know how to put some words together, not in the sense that I can curse someone out because I just don't do it, but I can put some words together to make you look. Don't laugh, Brandon, to make you think. Hey, that's inside joke with me and Brandon, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, but I really I thank you for pointing that out. Um, but I do have my moments, and I have to take a minute to think. I gotta take a minute. Let me think. Let me think
Let
about
me
that.
think. Let me
Yeah, let
think.
me let me think for real, for real.
Because some
So
people make you snap, you
right,
know?
right.
Mhm,
So in talking about what does the power of influence look like? How much does influence does a shop owner's attitude have on a new barber? Let's talk about that. You kind of mentioned it, but how does a shop owner or someone in management position, because we got varying situations that people are in. Some of them are in a shop, like I was commissioned. So we
mhm,
had a manager in the shop. Um, we also had a shop owner as well. So they're
mhm,
varying backgrounds. So if you're in an environment where you're booth rental, your dynamics may look a little bit different. Yet at the
mhm.
same time, there's still what we would consider leadership there, because if you don't own the space, then there's someone who you go to when there are challenges, there are maintenance concerns, you know, whatever is going on in the shop that needs that leadership or shop owner's attention, you go to
Mhm.
them about it. So I guess we want to throw out there, how much influence does the shop owner or the manager who's managing the crew, so, their attitude have on a new barber?
Yeah, gotta be headstrong for that.
Yeah,
Gotta be headstrong, and you can't let a lot of stuff bother you when in reality everything that comes in, you have to take care of. So you have to
right,
constantly stop what you're doing, stop what
right,
you're doing, stop what you're doing, and that's what every single client almost, if it's a problem or something's
right,
going on over there. So it kind of cuts into, your daily life of being in the shop and working.
right.
But you got to be headstrong. You can't um you can't lose it. And that's what
Yeah,
I was saying when I said I come to you when I need a little peace and need to talk, because sometimes that takes a toll on you, and you don't
yeah,
want to let the younger barbers see you stressed like that, but in
right,
a way you do. You know what I mean? Because they need to know that it ain't all peaches and cream.
right. The
So,
balance of it all, so they'll know you got tough
financially,
situations.
yeah,
Yep,
financially, mentally, emotionally. Like all that takes a toll on you. But I think some of it they do need to see because you don't want to leave them out there on the cliffhanger to where they think they go in and then all of a
Right.
sudden they just losing it. You know what I mean? So we are we are big influences with stuff. Like I just feel like we need to be honest. You know what I mean? We gotta be honest with that. If not, then I think they're gonna fail. If you're not totally honest with them about it. So that's it.
WeK says some shop owners are not willing to teach though because they feel like they don't have the time to to generate that kind of investment. Oh man, she hitting deep. Hold on. Someone are great and willing to help perfect the craft. Man, so you know what, WeK, Brandon and I've had many, many conversations about this. And this last scenario, I was following up on someone that we know, and um the news got back, and I'm like, dang, for real? They out all together? And I was like, you know what? We got to talk about this because young barbers, master hair care, barber stylists, whatever.
Hmm.
And actually, it could be for any industry. This is evergreen content. It could be for any industry, but because we're specifically talking about the barbering industry, that's the focus. Um,
Hmm.
and young ones, new barbers that are entering in, our power of influence is so important because it sets the emotional temperature. It sets what's tolerated, what's rewarded, what's ignored. And new barbers, they learn fast whether growth or survival is the
Hmm.
real expectation. Is this about growth or is this about survival? So they can pick up on some good habits and they can pick up on some bad habits. But either way, depending on the influence of the owner and or management, it can really be it can breathe life into them, or it can, you know, make them want to give up and just hang it up altogether.
Right.
So WeK, that's why we're talking about this. And you're right. Some shop owners and management are not willing to go to that extent. They're not, and they got to remember somebody was there for them.
Hmm.
Somebody was there for them in order for them to get to where they are, you know? So why can't we reach back and help someone else out? Because
Hmm.
what good is it if you die with everything in you? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I
That
always welcome. I always welcome people to like if they hit me up and say, "Hey, can I come watch you?" and they give me a little heads up. I'm more than welcome for them to come in there and watch and see the things that happen.
right.
You
They
don't
get
have
a
to pay
whole
for anything
scope.
like that.
Yeah,
You get a whole experience when you walk in there and just kind of sit around or stand around and just look, and
right,
they can see what all what all we go through as far as that. How many times we got to stop and do this? How many times we get this? How many times we're talking? How many times we're solving a problem? I, I always invite them to do so. And the young person that we talked
right.
discussed about, he did it with me one time. He came in there and he was excited. He was like, "Yeah, it's so calm in here. It's so chilling. It's so this is," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Come back tomorrow. Come back
Right,
Friday.
right.
Or come back Saturday.
Every day is different. Every
Every
day is
day,
different.
every day is different." And then the young guy went into a different shop and he just got a total different experience, and it completely, turned him off.
Yeah,
And I hate that for him because he's a great guy. And I just wish, he
yeah,
could have just sat around me a little bit longer and figured
right.
out that it's actually a fun job. It's all in how you make it. It's actually a fun job. and you love what you do when you put that out there. You know, you again, you're
That's
gonna be stressed out sometimes, but you got to kind
right.
of let that. But I wish
You
she
know
stayed
what
in there a
to
little
hold on.
longer and watch.
Yeah. You got to know
Yeah.
what to hold on to, and what to let go of. And
Mhm.
when they're young like that, we can really we can really we can really mess them up. I
Yeah.
just mess them up to the point where they don't even want to touch it, look at it no more.
Yeah.
WeK says here, the problem too is some managers fuel drama at the shop sometimes. It's like being in high school at times. I think managers or shop owners should be neutral and make sure everyone's needs are met. It's interesting that you say that. And it does happen, the bite biting, you know. uh and I've experienced it all, not just in the barbershop situation, but just in a regular work environment. You see that. In doing so, when we have owners and managers, you got to look at the maturity level of those individuals. And
Mhm.
then it could be that age wise, they may appear to be mature, but in actuality, they aren't, because they doing some of the same things the barber's doing. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Or their peers are doing. They're engaging in some of the same conversations and
Mhm.
activities and things along those lines. So it's like, okay, I just say this: one barber can shift the energy of an entire shop.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that can be
Mhm.
for better or for worse. They can shift the whole entire energy. So
Mhm.
maturity does play into it. And that's not to say a young person can't be mature in that position, but you want to look at that. Are they balanced? You know what I'm saying? Um, how do they handle situations? And you gotta you gotta yeah, you gotta have it. You gotta have it together. And
And
I've been
some of the managers be wanting to fit in with the young crowd too. Like they want them to be their friends and want to fit in with the young crowd because I'm older and these kids having fun with this. But some stuff as a manager, I feel like you just need to draw the line. Like, hey, chill out. Like she said with the high school, like being in high school, they want to go back there. Now we need to move forward. You know, we need to move
Shantae, you
forward.
say
Like,
empower, educate, and enlighten. Facts,
yeah,
facts, facts.
yeah.
And that's the power of influence. As seasoned barbers are individuals who have been in the game a little bit longer,
Hmm.
especially if they're someone like you. Well, Brandon's been cutting a long time, but you've had other positions before you actually dove into, you know what I'm saying, barbering. So you know how it is to be out in other environments. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So this the same with me, and I've kind of, ooh, that's why I say this my last go round, except for being in the classroom, because
Hmm.
I've had a lot of careers, and having a lot of careers, it makes me versatile in terms of how to handle certain things, or handle things, and deal with people, even though this environment is still somewhat new. I take a lot of those soft skills and scenarios, and kind of not I look at them.
Hmm.
Okay, how would I handle this if I was in this situation, or how would I handle this if I was in this situation? And because I'm a lot older, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was in the shops, I just let a lot of stuff ride, because I'm like, you know what, I ain't got time to be fooling around with these, because
Yeah, you'll be
everybody
stressed out.
everybody was younger than me. Everybody. Out of the two owners, and this was commission. When I worked W-2, it's a little different. But I was the same age as one owner and was older than another owner. So it's It's different. So let's talk about the pros, Brandon. Let's talk about the pros and when experience builds barbers. And we get into the mentorship, the guidance, and creating legacy or imparting legacy or showing them what legacy is how legacy is achieved and what legacy consists of. So my first question that I want to throw out is, what does healthy mentorship look like in a barbershop? WK says, I love your hair, Brandy. That color is fire. Hey, y'all, she just, hey, she don't like black, y'all. She don't like black in her hair. So she literally just redid it last week, right, Brandon?
I ain't retwisted now. Now hold on, Tay.
So,
I just
so
did the color and cut
we,
it. I ain't retwisted. That's Tay's part. I don't. You see me up here messing with it,
right,
like
right,
it
right.
just
So
it's bothering me. Ugh.
we had weather
Thank you,
last
VK.
we had weather last week, so we had
Yeah,
to table it so we could be safe. But I told her, I gotta, y'all.
yeah. It's
I
a
gotta.
habit that I mess with my hair though. It's just I can't stop. I'm sorry. It's a habit though. But thank you, VK. I appreciate that. That
So
blonde just made me look cool.
right. So let's talk about help a mentor. What does that look like? For me, is guidance without humiliation. I was always taught to praise in public and provide constructive comments in private. And I always say constructive comments versus constructive criticism. Because construct, when you look at the words, means to build. And criticism is it's like you tearing down. You can't build up and tear. You can, but it just doesn't make sense. So that's why I say constructive comments. So for me, um it, a healthy mentorship in the barbershop or anywhere um looks like guidance without humiliating them or correcting them without ego involved. And that's tough, what I've seen in the barbershop arena, especially because it's male dominated and you dealing with a lot of testosterone. You got a lot of ego involved.
Mhm.
And I saw it, I witnessed it. And um, when you're dealing with young folks, you got to be careful how you handle them. Like what you discussed, that
Mhm.
young man just gave it up altogether. You saw the talent. You was the reason, a big part of why he even thought about it in the first place.
Yeah, and I was so excited. Like it
Yeah,
made me, very excited to hear him say that. That's what made him do it because he always came to get his hair cut, him and his dad and his other brother. So, for him to come tell me that even before he got into, the barber thing at school,
right. The
I
program.
I yeah, I felt like it it made me happy and excited because I see his adrenaline rush for like, I gotta have it, I gotta do it, I gotta do it. I seen him
Right,
cutting his own hair. I seen him start to cut his daddy hair, and I just seen a little boy who wanted that to be his dream, and come in there and watch me a few times and sit with me and just like, oh my God, I love it, I love it, I love it, gotta have it. To going into his shop and then all of a sudden, somebody older putting him down, and now he's just like, I don't want to do it no more. I don't want to do
which
it. And I'm like, you can't just let one shop ruin your experience. You gotta,
right,
you
got to
know, you
bounce
gotta,
back.
yeah, you gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. But um, I don't know. I just felt like that one, particular thing just tore him down, and he just was like, no, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. And me and him talked for a while, and I said, baby, you gotta keep pushing.
Right,
Find you another shop to work in or whatever, and figure it out from there. And he
right.
was like, he just said, I don't know if I can do it.
But
Blew my mind.
that goes to the power of influence, and we got to be willing to provide constructive comments, answers without making someone feel small or belittling them. Because
Right.
we don't know, well, maybe you know because you're closer. I I don't, but yeah, that's hurtful
Yeah.
because he done went through the program, or we can say in general, individuals have gone through the program, they've obtained their license,
Mhm.
and they're in the field. But then you get
Mhm.
this one spot, they ain't even 6 months in good, three
Mhm.
months, 90 days in good, and they getting all this negativity, a not so uplifting support, or they're observing things that are going on that makes them second guess, you know,
Right.
wonder if I made the right decision.
And
All of
sometimes
these
it's the
things.
older people too who feel like they know it all. They know it all and they want to let him down. Everything he do, you want to let him
Right.
down. Like sit him down and talk to him. You know what I mean? Let him down in front of people. That's crazy. Embarrassing him like that is crazy. All the stuff that little boy told me, that's just so crazy. Like you older like that, you want to, hey buddy, let me talk to you for a minute. Let's move over here to the side. Let's talk about what you did wrong or how you can make it better. It's just talking to the man is, I'm pretty sure he'd listen because he's a young guy that listens. I've been around him all his life. So
Right.
you know, and he listens when I talk, and I'm not his mother. So to see him follow suit or follow instructions, that was amazing to me, and then go somewhere else. So I know, he was, mistreated, so because
Right.
that kid is
Right. Because
a
you've been
great
knowing
boy.
him for a long time. You've
Yeah,
been knowing
yeah.
him for a long time. And you know what?
Ever since he was a
Um,
tiny baby.
I think that's what helped me a little. I did have moments where I felt like I was in when I first came into the environment. I felt
Mm,
there were moments, that I was being chipped away at. But I think because I was had been out there older and had a level of self confidence. Maybe my skill set wasn't there, but I had a level of confidence to know, you know what, it's gonna get better. But then when you get one situation after the other, it wears at you. But I think that's what helped me survive a lot of situations, not to say that it didn't hurt or it didn't impact me. Because when you're dealing with a young person who doesn't have a whole lot of experience, you know
mm,
what I'm saying? Their ability to be able to manage and cope with certain things isn't as they aren't as equipped as someone like myself who's coming in, later in life, who's been through some things. But yet
mm,
at the same time, we got to be able to manage that and know
mm-hmm,
that as seasoned barbers, we can really impact a young person's or a new person's perspective um, coming into this arena, which brings me to how do seasoned barbers help new barbers sharpen skills and confidence? Um, how do we do that? You showed me some shortcuts. You know what
mm-hmm,
I'm saying? Um, Client communication tips when you're dealing with those difficult clients. Oftentimes, the younger generation, especially if they haven't worked in environments where they're servicing people, then they may not have the conflict resolution skills and how to manage an angry client, or you know what I'm saying, solve a problem or ask, okay, well, that's not working. How can I make it better? Or what can we do? Or what do you suggest in this situation? You
mm-hmm.
know, it's like giving them control, but not giving them control. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
See,
and
that's
and
where
also
my mouth come in right there, Tay. I don't know, like I'm sorry, because it, you know, if you just like picky, like I'm talking about picky to the point, you like this one piece of hair right here. Mm, I'm I'm like, you know what, you
I got
just
you.
just go ahead and see that's why my mouth comes into play. At say I gotta, I be, I'm calm. The whole haircut can be fire, but this one little piece of hair, or you see the little like right here, and you barely touching them, and then it's like, all right, we good, we good. I barely even touched you.
Right, and you wait, you know it,
Yeah,
but
I barely,
that
you
what
know.
that tells me, y'all, you just picking. You
Oh, you
just
want to
pick.
spend extra? You want to spend extra time in the chair or something? Cause ain't no way. That's why my mouth come in there. Ain't no way. I just barely touched you, and you like, all right, we good. What? If you don't get
Right,
on up out of here. So that's where I gotta watch it sometimes too, because sometimes people could just want that extra moment in that chair or that
right.
extra time in that chair, to vent, talk, whatever. But you holding me up, or you know,
You gotta
like
get
I'm
get on. I gotta get
I'm
on to
working on that. But I do it in a playful way to where if somebody was young beside me, I wouldn't right off the bat have an attitude. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I would laugh about it like, "Are you serious?" Like they would see me play with my clients and talk to my clients. And then
right,
if I see the client is getting serious, like mean or something like that, which I don't even have like that, but I would just be like, you know what? I would just rather you leave and you can make this your last haircut. You can
right,
find you somebody else who can tend to what you need. If I'm not able to do it for you, I'm glad that you chose me in the first place. I'm thankful for that. But you
right.
might need to go ahead and find you somebody that can cater to your needs the way you want it to be 100%. Because ain't no haircut 100% every time. I'm sorry.
Right, right.
Ain't no haircut 100.
Some
Yeah,
flaw in it at some point. There's some flaw in the cut. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it always is, but you're gonna do your best to try to make it 100% and get it right. But you got
right,
some clients with dents in their head and like just you know s- all it ain't always us. It's just some flaws in your head and all that stuff too. But
right,
if I can't do it to perfection like you want me to, I would rather you just go ahead and find you somebody else that can. But I'm gonna be really nice about it.
right,
But I'm hoping you'll be nice back to me and understand where I'm coming from. And if a little child is sitting beside me, or a young adult is sitting beside me, they're gonna see me handle it well without getting
right.
the attitude. You know what I mean? And hopefully the person in my chair is the same way. All right, we cool.
Okay.
Because they gotta see the flaws in there. They gotta see how you
How you
stop
handle
a
the situation?
client from going to 100. You know what I mean? So
Right. And that just gets into us affirming the process, and not just always pointing out mistakes with our younger barbers or new
right.
barbers coming into the game, and showing them this is how we handle the situation. You
Hmm.
know, um, WK says some people are born leaders and others struggle with leadership, even if they are in a managerial position. Do you ladies think it's beneficial for managers to refine their skills by taking classes? Um, Good question, Rike. I'm gonna I can only answer that from my vantage point, and I think it has a lot to do with I've had different careers. My military career, we took a lot of leadership courses. I've been in leadership positions, and though I had been asked to manage in certain situations, um, I've turned them down. One, I got a scope of outside looking in. Uh, Another reason was I'm like, I've done that. That's not why I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
maybe um, how can I express this? Maybe um, some could see it as selfish on my part, where I didn't provide or offer up or share in the leadership and management skills that I possess. But I just felt like, someone coming in, um, learning the craft and a lot of aspects. Um, I didn't want that on me while I'm making my way, charting my course. And then I also noticed, coming from a where I had subbed many years, this is a different generation. And then when you get into that type of environment, where people are, they're their own boss, even though you're a manager, they're still their own boss. So those lines can be crossed. So I take ownership for not stepping into those roles, but yet at the same time, I just didn't want to take on those roles. For me, because I know self-development and self-improvement, to answer your question, helps us. The better we are, the better our businesses are, the better we're able to service our clients. So I do continue in leadership stuff and reading material that helps me in that way, to be better, because there's still things that I don't know.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And because I've been out of certain environments, it hadn't been exercised in a minute. So I got to go refresh. But I do think, within the barbering environment, especially if you're in a place where it's um, you have managers, there should be some type of leadership uh, um, curriculum, or some type of leadership guidelines, or something to help those who are stepping into this role to be able to handle certain situations, because everybody is not equipped to handle it. They may think they are,
Hmm.
but they may not be. So having those resources can assist them. I don't think we can
And
go wrong. What you
and
think,
I
Brandon?
yeah, I would say yes. I would take classes or something like that. But my classes would be, well, what I do, I watch positive videos with a lot of shop owners and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um, I do that. Um, I do that. I do that like once a week.
there's many ways
And
we
I
can
feel,
get information, though. Yeah,
yeah, I watch positive videos from shop owners, about, how to handle people and all that stuff.
right,
And then I feel like I'm in the class every day at the shop, just dealing with people and learning how to breathe and learning how to think before I talk. Um, so, but yeah, if it was, something that I felt like I really needed, yeah, I would do it. I would most definitely do it. And I feel like other people, if you know, if they're having problems struggling with that, they should do it too as well before go off on somebody and then it goes bad. So,
yeah. And it go bad real fast, don't it, Brandon?
It can. But I'm adulting, and like I said, I laugh a lot of stuff off. I
Right,
play a lot. I change that whatever you feeling into play and a
right.
joke to make
Uh-huh.
them joke with me and we talk about it. That's how I do a lot of my stuff. And but at the end of the day, we are resolving whatever the problem was, or however you feel, we're resolving it, because I don't want to be the one to escalate, because they gonna do the same thing. So they're really feeding off your energy. And yeah, I'm trying to match it at that time, because I don't want you to go there and I don't want to go there. So,
Right.
I do watch a lot of videos once a week just to sharpen up a little bit, and listen to positive things those people have to say that are very successful. So I'm still learning. I'm only 3 years in with this thing. I'm still learning. I'm gonna continue to learn, as
Yeah.
long as I live. Yeah.
And that
So
that brings me to, you said it. Um, what lessons can't be taught in school but are learned in the barbershop? You mentioned it, dealing with difficult clients.
right.
That we can do scenarios, we can role play, But until you
Hmm.
get in that situation, those are things that can't be taught in school.
Yeah.
You learn that in the barbershop. And another thing that is learned in the in the actual environment is shop politics.
Yeah. For real.
It's different for every shop, which brings
Hmm.
me to there's a shop culture in every shop,
Hmm.
in every shop, and professional consistency, showing up, and even when just showing up, setting the stage, setting the example. You know, they what they tell you, you got to show up. You got to show up.
Yeah.
So,
My client saw me get nervous when the barber board came last week. Like
uh,
I know I'm clean. I know
talk
everything
about it.
clean. Huh?
Talk about that experience. Look, y'all, Brandon gonna screenshot the what the thing called that they once they finish it, they give it to you. What is the
Yeah.
thing
The oh Lord, how you making me forget now?
called?
Yeah,
Right. Well,
the score you
the score sheet. The score
man,
sheet.
I was so nervous knowing that I was gonna pass anyway, but my client saw me. I was nervous. Like when she walked up to the door, she was like, "Hey," I knew she wasn't come get no haircut because her hair was long and ain't nothing I could do for her. So other than cut it off. But she was
Right.
like, "I want the barber board," da, da, da. And I'm like, I felt like I had to use the bathroom. I was like, "Oh God." I said, "Come on."
Immediately.
I was like, come on in, come on." I was in the middle of cutting, and she just walked in and started walking around. So my clients actually saw me. Like I had to take a break from cutting, and my client was like, "You good?" I said, they felt
Yeah.
that energy, you know. I was like, "I'm
Right.
good, brother." That's the barber
Yeah.
boy here. He was like, "Oh snap, you good?" I said, "Yeah, I'm good. Everything, license is straight, barber side clean, bathroom clean, got hot water. I'm good. Everything clean here." I said, "I'm good." He's like,
But
"Okay, you
see,
look kind
that's
of
the
nervous." I
example.
am nervous because these people make me nervous.
That's just well, Brandon, I want to say this. That's the true example of being ready, and you don't have to get ready. So
Yeah.
even though she popped up
Hmm.
and you were nervous about it, you were
Hmm.
still prepared.
Still
You
made
were
a
still
hundred, baby.
and made 100. So she gonna screenshot it and send it to me. Talk about she was nervous. I'm like, you was ready.
It's just,
You,
I know it's just something about me, like, that's like you, that's like your parents come around and you know you ain't did nothing, but you still nervous anyway. Like, oh God, they about to get, that's like that. Like going to school and taking the test, knowing you done studied, and then you feel like you gonna fail. Like all those butterflies hit me when those people walk in the door. It does something to me when I know in my mind that my license is up to date. Everything is up to date. My barber side is clean. My
right,
bathroom is clean. I got hot
right.
water. It's all those things are always taken care of. But something about those people just makes me feel
Make you
so
nervous.
weird when they walk in the door because they can shut you down. That's what
Right.
scared me. They can shut you down, tell everybody no more haircuts, go. But I know that wasn't the case. But that's just the part that scares me, knowing that they
Right.
can shut your business down while they are there. You know what I mean?
Right. The power, see,
So
the power influence the board has.
yeah,
Um, Shantavia says, congratulations, Lady Faded. That's what I was telling her. Send back the
thank you.
emojis. Yeah, she
Yeah,
did it. She did
yeah,
it.
I did. I did. But when I grabbed
It's
that pen and signed that paper, my hand was shaking. I was like, Lord, I'm about to get back to this client right quick. I hope my hand ain't doing no more shaking. So I got back to that client. And then when she pulled off, I was like, whew. I
ooh.
said, hey, you know what? Give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Man, hey, I ain't gonna even lie. I went in the mirror. I went in the other room in there. I went in the mirror and I started talking positive to myself. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, you did it. You already knew
See,
you could do it. You are,
okay,
you
that
are, you are you.
Randy, you own it. That leads us into how does encouragement impact retention in the industry? So you just said you went to the mirror to
Yeah.
encourage yourself. You could do it. You got this.
Hmm.
So as it relates to new barbers and young barbers, how does what we share with them um, help impact the retention in the industry?
Self motivation.
Yeah, it keeps them from quitting for sure.
Hmm.
And especially when growth feels slow.
Yeah, self
I gotta
motivation.
man, I gotta tell y'all when I first started, and all barbers are gonna go through this, unless you're coming out of school and you already have a clientele and your clientele follow you. Even when you leave school to go to a space, you're gonna lose some, you're gonna gain some. Some people stay with you. It's just the nature of the business. It's it's what happened. Um, but in saying that, I had to tell myself, Yate, you right where you supposed to be. You got this. It's gonna take time to build.
Hmm.
It's gonna take some time to build. You got to get out there, walk, hand out them cards. Tell them what you do. If you can't do this over here, then you can do this over here. Which is like I said, I, I had to go somewhere to get my straight hair technique up to par, and I had to practice on my fading. So I homeless shelters. I cut for free outside the barber shop because yeah. Anyway, I had to build to that point. So I took one thing and I focused on that one thing, locks. And anybody that I saw with locks, hey, he go a card, come see me. I'm at such and such. I'm at such and such. I do such and such, you know. So encouragement keeps them from quitting, and it helps them with empowering them, especially when they feel like the growth is slow. And it's gonna be slow in the beginning, unless, like I say, you got clientele already.
Mm.
What you got to say about the encouragement aspect of it, and how that impacts retention and barbers staying in the industry?
Uh, I talk to myself a lot. Um, I tell people that all the time. I talk to myself a lot during the cut. I'm in my own head space. I
Yeah.
tell people I motivate myself, or I even said out loud around clients, boy, that shade look good. God, dog, I did my thing. Yeah, if you self motivate yourself, you're
That's why
gonna,
they call it Lady Faded.
yeah. And I came from a place where I was really um worried about my fading. I was worried about was I doing things right because I always had somebody in my ear going, you know that ain't right, you know that ain't right. So it kind of when I knew, I did have flaws in my fade back then, but that's not how you tell me, especially in front of people. So that started to hurt me. So I had to learn, you know what? You keep doing it. You keep doing it. Instead of him saying, hey, let me show you
you,
something.
you
You know what I'm
that
saying? Hey, let me like
or
it drove me nuts because I knew I could cut. I just, I think it was a
and your
man thing.
technique may be different from someone else. Like I had a situation in one of the shops that I was in where the individual was trying to teach me to fade from the top down. I learned to fade from the bottom up. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Now I can do both, but I felt more comfortable, and still to this day feel comfortable doing from the bottom up.
Hmm.
you know, Starting with your first guideline and going up that way. It just
Hmm.
depends on now how much hair. Yes, I've learned that way, but to try to force your way of fading onto someone, especially when they've gone through training and got a
Hmm.
system down pat. So is it really that you're trying to teach me something different, or is it really that you're trying to say, oh, I taught her how to do this because it's ego?
Right.
Or
I,
you just want to mess me up altogether. So
I always. I didn't care. I always told him, "Thank you for the pointers. Please continue to give me more pointers." And I think
Mhm.
I'm gonna take those pointers and still learn in my way,
Right,
because
right.
I don't want to cut like you. You know, I don't
And
want
that's
to.
what I had to do. I just stepped back and observed. Took what the old folks say, take what you need, put the rest on the shelf.
Hmm.
And
And I
and so
listened. I did listen.
yeah,
I listened,
yeah.
but at the end of the day, again, whether I'm fading from the top to the bottom or the bottom to the top, and that was my preference with certain hair too. How I wanted to do it, because I like to put in I like to put in what I'm trying to do with the hair first. Like I might even start with the tape line first,
Right,
depending on the hair. You know what I mean? Depending on what type of hair they have or what type of cut they're looking for. I might start doing the rough draft with a light little tape line at first,
right,
and then working and going to my fade. Or I might do vice versa. It just depends. I like to see what I'm doing, and I like to mold I just do things backwards sometimes, and sometimes I go for I'm done like the top of the head. I can not be done with the whole head, and I'm going to the beard. Like I be all over the place with it because I'm trying to, it's just weird how I do it, but that's just my method of doing it.
right.
Um,
And some people tell you, you don't want to pick up the clippers or pick up that guard twice. And then I get what they're saying because it's in time management, but that's when you're in spaces where you cutting in increments and you got appointments. So your environment is different. You know what
mhm,
I'm saying? And even with that, you still have scenarios that come up where you may take a little bit longer.
mhm,
You know, like we talked about the lumps and humps in the heads. You might
mhm.
have to work on that spot by the occipital bone because they done played football and the helmet done put a permanent dent in the head. You know what I'm saying?
Or
And that's
or or a do rag dent too. Don't forget about the do rag dents.
oh yeah, yeah. You and
Hmm.
I've had to talk to my young folks about them do rags and
Being so
how
tight.
being so tight, that traction causing hair loss in those spaces, thinning in those spaces. But yeah,
Hats
we
too. Hats too.
yeah, the pulling on, the, yeah, yeah.
Eating out your corners. Go have
We
that
can
doggone
we can go
Dracula.
on, we can go on and on about that. But
Go have that Dracula, boy. You go have that Dracula. Ha.
the piece with encouragement is that we want individuals to feel seen and supported. Ultimately, especially with our younger barbers and those who are coming in, we want them to feel supported, seen, because what that does, it builds loyalty to the craft and not just to the shop.
Mm,
It builds that loyalty. It builds that confidence in them as well. And like I say, I've always been taught to praise in public and offer uh, constructive comments in private. You never ream or blast a person out in public. And some of us forget what that's like. You know what I'm saying? We forget what that's like. Let's move into the cons. And when experience becomes a weapon, and we've kind of talked about this, the gatekeeping, the ego, the discouragement. What behaviors cross the line from tough love to toxic to you? What behaviors do that for you, Brandy?
say that again. What? I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. That's in my
What
chart.
what behaviors cross the line from tough love to it's toxic?
Mm.
Where example, you public shaming the person in the shop, and it's disguised as keeping it real. Oh, I'm just trying to keep it real. No, you ain't
Mm.
keeping it real like that.
I ain't about to embarrass nobody though. Like I'm not gonna do that because it would hurt me more than it. Well, I wouldn't say more than it hurt them. It would hurt me at first if I say what come to my mind and I'm really thinking that it out. I would ask myself, does it hurt my feelings first? Like, would I
Right.
want somebody to say that to me? So I wouldn't do that. Um,
You know what? That goes back to the type of leadership and whether it's ego driven. You know what is it? What's motivating that behavior? You
hmm
know, you want to feel like you on top, you the boss, uh this yours, whatever the case may be, but keeping it real disguised as shaming somebody, that's not the way to do it, because like in your scenario, the person never came back to barbering. They
hmm
own something else, and they young in the field, just
hmm
got their license,
Yep.
just got their license. And also, another thing with this is withholding knowledge to protect the person's status. They can see
hmm
you doing something and won't say nothing. Or you can ask and they act like they ain't got time, don't want to share, or I'll get to you in a second, blowing you
hmm
off, basically. Yeah.
Because they don't want to see you grow sometimes too. They don't want to see you past them. That
But
they don't want to
there's
see.
enough out there for everybody.
I know that, but you know where I came from. So
Right. Real teachers, real instructors, real mentors,
hmm
they want, should I say, genuine instructors, teachers, mentors, leaders.
hmm
They want you to grow
some,
and be
some,
better. Well, yeah.
mostly,
That's why I said
some.
real ones. Some
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. So
not all.
we've talked about this public criticism uh, affect new barbers' confidence. It really does.
Yeah, it
You
does.
criticize them, it affects their confidence. It creates fear instead of growth. It also teaches them silence. Most of them, well, I won't say most. Oftentimes, they shut down. They become silent instead of curious. So it's like you shut them down.
Well, the
Shantae,
mirror is my best friend. First of all,
yeah,
I made the
absolutely.
mirror my best friend
Right, right.
for
The
real.
mirror will show you what's going on at any point in that haircut. Will
And
show
not
you.
only haircut, I'm talking about with talking to myself. Like that mirror, at the end of the day, it's me in that mirror, and I'm the one doing what I should be doing right there. So the mirror is my best friend. I told you, I talk to myself a lot, and I meant that, in front of clients, away from clients. When I'm in the mirror, I talk to myself because I don't want. I came from a point where people, well, a person was saying things to me that kind of I felt belittled, and I felt like, they were affecting my mental. So the mirror
And that's
became my best friend.
and that's challenging too for us as female barbers, being in a male dominated industry. Um, it can be very, we're already going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, even though women have been in the industry for years and they're carving out their way and they're doing fantastic things, they're trailblazing in a lot of areas, but we still get that. We still get people, I don't want you to cut my hair. All of those things. We still
Okay,
experience
sir.
we still experience those challenges, but in that, it does, it's almost like it hit double. You know what I'm saying? It hit it hit double.
hmm I don't let it
On
bother me no more.
yeah, yeah.
I been stopped letting it bother me because I'm like, you know what? At the end of the
I'm,
day, you
I'm
gonna
gonna do
come
this.
when you come, and you if you're not gonna come, you're not gonna come, and probably 9 out of 10, the people who know you probably come to me anyway. So you're gonna hear about me again, with those
Right.
comments and stuff like that. I just let that roll off my shoulder because it used to bother me, but now okay, sir. When I hear that, that's my fail. Okay, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I say it like
Right.
that. Yeah, in a joking way because, what are you saying? It's fine. Like at the end of the day, you had a mother or grandmother comb your hair or do your hair, no problem with that.
But
Why
now
all
all
of
of
a
a
sudden,
sudden,
like,
you
yeah,
get
it's a
grown.
problem.
Yeah, you get grown
Yeah,
now and don't want a female to be in your head.
yeah, okay, sir.
It's
That's
something.
my favorite line.
I think ego plays a role in that, um, favoritism, all of that plays, which brings me into shop ownership and senior barbers, the responsibility. What are our responsibility as owners, senior barbers in the game? Because we consider a senior, you know what I'm saying? Senior barbers in the game. What responsibilities do um, we have beyond uh, rent collection, uh, paying somebody, or is there responsibility? I know booth rent is different from commission, and even being an employee uh, at a spot. Traditionally, barbershops have been booth rental. You're seeing more commission. I have yet to come across a W-2 uh, barber, well, unless you get into your franchises. And many of them are oftentimes you have stylists who are doing a good portion of barber work, but that falls under when you get into your some franchises, you get into your W-2s.
Mm,
One franchise that I came from up under no grease was a commission. But in that, what are our responsibilities as shop owners, senior barbers? What does that look like to you,
mm,
Brandon? What does that look like to you? What our
I mean,
responsibility look like?
a lot,
Yeah.
a lot. Like
Mhm.
you gotta take on a lot. It's like having a whole nother house,
Right.
a whole nother house that you conduct business in.
Right.
Um, it's I can't even begin to tell you how much it is. For real, it's a lot, man. Down to
Yeah.
even making sure your tissue straight, your paper towels. And lately, my mama been helping out with that part because my mom been gone. So
Right. You
you
be in
know,
there so much, you forget, oh, we got one more roll, which
yeah,
that
you tend to forget.
expands the responsibility of especially as a owner. It's not just caring for the clients, it's the maintenance, it's the restock, products, and toiletries, and all of those things that go into it. But our responsibility as barbers in terms of to protect the culture and the standards of the shop, and creating a system, and in your case it's just you in there, but if you're in an environment where you got other barbers or people looking to you, then it's about helping them to grow if you're that type of person, and
Hmm.
and not just to you know fluff. You want to help them to grow and establish a position in the field. You know what I mean? Just something they can build upon and create a legacy from this.
Right,
So,
right, right.
as seasoned barbers, leading without controlling, what does that look like? Modeling excellence instead of policing behavior. Being an example of how it's done, how we do it. We got a comment here. Shantavia says leading by example. Yes, leading by example is another thing, and then offering guidance. You know what I'm saying? Offering guidance, then allowing space for them to learn. Not shoving your thought process or shoving your technique or shoving what you think down their throat. Hey,
Right,
is it okay if I show you something? You know what I'm saying? That invites them in. Then you show them whatever the technique is, and let them go with it. Let them learn from it. and be open if they got questions, you know, comments about something, you know, not being a gatekeeper on it. What systems help new barbers succeed faster? You know, top down, bottom up. That's just really a system of how to cut. You know, is it helping me to go faster? Well, maybe, maybe not. But how that individuals do or don't do, we got to respect that. You know what I'm saying? And then set clear expectations, you know, offer feedback, and then checking in with them, especially if you're in a shop where there's, you know, management, there's a group of you, you know, there might be something, you know, that I don't know. That's why I
Hmm.
come to her Brandy. Hey, help me out with this here. How I'm doing? Just cut the hair, y'all. Take cut the hair. People want to know that they gotta cut.
Yeah, they do.
Cut the hair. Yeah, that's it. You know, and we just got to be mindful of offering constructive comments and when and how. What the old folks say, Brandy, is not what you say, is
How you say
how
it.
how you say it. And how we say stuff can build or crush somebody, crush their spirit to the point they don't even want to do it no more. They hang up the clippers. They ain't just got started,
Hmm.
just getting started. So in preparing to um, close out the segment, um, rewriting the culture, like solutions and accountability. What should mentor look like in today's in the industry today? What you think? What should it look like? What should mentor look like in today's industry?
um, Having a positive attitude.
Yeah,
Um, Always sharing the positive and the negatives with them. So they learn both sides, and that way they know it's just not one side of the happy all the time.
right.
Sharing, cheat codes with haircuts,
Right.
if there are any. Um, just sharing things that'll make their jobs and lives easier with being in the barber industry. Um, um, I mean, it's so much more I can name, but
It's a lot. I'll share some of mine to add to what you're saying. Being intentional, being consistent. You know, oftentimes our young folks are looking for consistency, rooted in service, not superiority. You know, not because you senior, because you own it, or because you manage it, that don't make you superior. You know what I'm saying? Be rooted in service, not only service in the client, but being of service to those around you, and also being a bridge, not a barrier. We looking at long-term success. Uh, We thinking about down the line. Are we helping them to reach that success down the line, or are we being barriers to that success? WeK says here, not to change the topic, but can you ladies find challenges that makes it a bit difficult and make you want to take a step back?
a
I've
step
had
back meaning what?
yeah, we can. What you mean by take a step back? So not to change the topic, but can you ladies find challenges that makes it a bit difficult and make you want to take a step back? um I'm gonna wait and see if she gonna put up another oh, alien on. Hey, what up? I'm gonna wait and see if she put up another comment. With that, I'll go into the next point. Can shops create safe learning environments? I think that we can. Do we create safe learning environments? It depends on the environment that you're in. That's all I'm gonna say. It really depends on the environment that you're in. But to answer the question, we can create safe environments, and we should normalize questions, being able to answer, ask questions, and even make mistakes, because making mistakes is part of growing. She said, hold on, let me put it up. She said overhead was a challenge for me. Oh, she was talking about overhead. Well, for me, even though I'm a business owner and I hadn't taken up booth rental, and I had my, uh, I've I've had my thoughts on it. And one can say, well, you ain't never did it, so you don't know how it goes. I'm a business owner, so I have some insight. But in saying that, my experience as a 1099 and even a W-2, some things that were challenging for me as a 1099. We set our own schedule, we set our own prices, we pay our own taxes, we provide our own tools. Knowing the rights and responsibilities of your position, and saying that, um, mine was the fine line of trying to encourage you to keep a certain schedule, when I had to balance um, medical stuff, appointments, and my health with the schedule that I committed to. And whenever I changed my schedule, number one, my clients knew. Two, because they were the ones that were keeping me in business. And then I always communicated it with management. Even if I was going to be late, I was running late, or something came up, emergency, I always communicated that. But to answer the question, some of the challenges that I encountered, was that line between 1099 and W-2. Um, but Brandy, you have anything you want to share on from your perspective? She say, can you ladies offer advice for people that love mentoring, but sometimes the challenge turns them away and they take a step back? Um, for me, I'm gonna say I've always mentored, because as the oldest child, even on my dad's side, being the third oldest, I've been seen as the mentor from my older siblings and younger siblings. But being the oldest, I've always been in a mentorship position. So um, I didn't always take it as such, but being the oldest, I was thrust into that position. So especially after my mom transition, I really had to look at it. You know what I'm saying? I actually enjoy it. It keeps me accountable. Um, it keeps me young, because oftentimes my mentees are younger. I have mentors, so um, it keeps me connected. I'll say that. Who is this? Wike says that question is what I originally was trying to ask. Oh, okay. All right, Brandon, what you got on mentorship?
Uh, you mean the positive side of mentorship, or
Yeah,
what do you mean?
whatever you want to share about mentorship, whatever you want to share about it.
I mean, I pretty much said it earlier, just being positive all the time, staying positive, and knowing that the person beside you trying to learn just like you learned. Um,
Right.
and to know that that's that's something that they want to do, and they look at you to mentor them. Always have a positive attitude, but also make sure they know the
The
negative
back.
side of things too. Yeah, make sure they learn how
You
to
said
balance
the
all
back
that out,
side. Yeah.
because if they don't learn how to balance it out later on, it's going to drive them crazy. So just let them see the real side of you, how you handle things, whether it's a bad day or a good day, or whether things are very overwhelming. You got to let people know what's going on, what's really going on. Don't sugarcoat anything, and just,
Right.
I feel like always staying positive around those people, because it's a fun career. I love it. You
Yeah.
know,
Me too.
I love it, and I want them to love it too. and I just wanted to grow. I don't want to see nobody, lacking behind with it.
Right.
I want us all to grow because one day these hands not gonna always work, and you gotta be that voice for them when your
Got to be
hands are
that
not
boy.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just being positive all the time makes a difference, and pushing out that good energy towards whoever you're mentoring, so that they
Right.
can be the same like you were. So
Right.
that's all I
And
got, and I think that wraps around everything. To be honest with you, just having good energy.
right.
Um,
And that takes me back to the point of creating safe learning environments in the shop and addressing toxic behavior immediately and not being silent about it. There's a way to address, certain things. How do we handle it? How do we say what we saying? What's the tone in what we're saying? And then what advice would we give a seasoned barber right now? Remember who you are and and where you were when you started. We got to think about that when we're communicating to the younger generation of the new barbers, what it was like for us. And like you said, giving them the positive, being positive, but also showing them the other side, because the longer they're in the career, the more people they service, they're going to encounter all of it at some point.
and
So
put your money up.
yeah, yeah,
Put your
yeah,
money up. Don't forget
yeah.
about the money part of it.
The
Like
business,
you can't.
the business side of barbering, not just the creative side. They also got
Hmm.
to know. They also got to know that. I also want to mention the advice. What advice will we give a new barber entering into a shop? So, what would we say to them if they're entering into the shop?
You you got to make sure, uh, like everything is intact. You got to make sure you have uh an abundance of things you need.
Yeah,
Clipper side, barber side. Like have everything and put something to the side. Put something to the side so you're able to go get those things. You don't want to spend just because you get money every day. You don't want to spend it all every day.
right, right.
'Cause that's fast money. That's fast money. I think a lot of young people probably see fast money and feel like, oh man, I can do this, I can do that. No, I had to learn the hard way. I used to go out to eat all the time, when I
Mhm.
first started barbering. And I realized, why am I spending so much money per day on these restaurants? And that was sometimes even twice a day on my
Wow.
break and when I get off. So
So
I was spending
basically,
a lot of money.
we got to be disciplined. We got to be disciplined with those resources.
Yeah, you do, because at the end of the day, by the time you done spent, you be hungry standing up there all day, and you want to eat, and you go in there in these restaurants, you eating, you spending all this money, and you're tipping, and then 9 times out of 10, you probably doing the same thing later on that night too. When I first started, it was like that, and then I slowed down a whole lot, and then when I got into my shop, I started cooking a lot in the other room or making sandwiches and stuff like that in the other room. So it's a big difference, when you're buying groceries for the week rather than going out to eat all the time there,
You
because
like that, buying
that
groceries for the
that
week rather than
yeah,
going out.
that stuff affects your income, when you're doing that, and you're actually losing a lot with doing that. And it's when you think about it, you're like, man, I could have saved $50. I could have saved $60. I shouldn't have did this, I shouldn't have did that, when you could just make it at the shop, you know.
Yeah, and for
So it
me,
gives you income of
I meal prep. I brought my food in, or I ate at home before I went. Especially if it was a morning, make sure I had breakfast, go in, lunch, I'll have a prep meal because I was actually prepping my food then. And then every now and again, I wouldn't eat the food that I prepped because you know what? I'm going to go out here, especially when I was in the mall and we got our little discount. I would go to one of those, go into the food court and buy something here or there. But most time I brought my food. I brought my
yeah,
food in. And the advice that I would like to share for new barbers coming in is stay teachable, but protect your confidence. Be teachable, be open, If someone is sharing something with you, take what you can and put what you don't see that fits inside what you're doing, put it on the shelf, you know. But stay teachable and protect it at all costs. Protect your confidence, because this is the infancy stage, and this is where your confidence can be disrupted to the point you don't even want to do it no more. And I've had moments early on where it was like that for me. And I had to go back to Yate, God has brought you into this career at this time. Okay. You're on the right path. And no matter what, stick to it. I might have taken a few steps back or taken a little break, but I've stuck with it. So I'll say stay teachable and learn the culture, then decide if it aligns with who you are becoming. So learn the culture and don't let the culture change you, but you weave who you are into the culture. In other words, decide if it aligns with who you are and who you are becoming. That's what I want to share with our new barbers coming in. So WeK says here, it's always a pleasure watching and listening to you ladies share your experience and insight with us. Thank you both so much. I'm grateful that we do this, because I think between Brandon and I, though our backgrounds and experiences are different within the barbering community, I think we bring a well-rounded approach and insight and experience and knowledge to these subjects that we share with you all, whether it's our personal experience, what we've observed. Most time is from what we've experienced. You know what I'm saying? And we are bouncing off, but we have observed, within this culture. And I just think that our connection, she was OJT. I went through school. You know what I'm saying? I think that we bring a uniqueness that you don't find. We bring a perspective that you don't find. She was a booth rental, then with the shop ownership. I was commissioned and worked between W-2 and 1099, and now I'm striking out on my own. So yeah. But
I had
I've
Brandon use buying food for the shop too.
what what'd you say?
I was reading that comment right there. Who was that?
Yeah. Well, Shante and Brandy, you was buying food for the shop too. Yeah, yeah. Buying food,
Who was
toiletries,
that? Yeah.
and paying bills and everything. Yeah. So I just believe we have a unique perspective to bring in doing the Fade and Flow show. I really do. I'm grateful for Brandy accepting the challenge. Um, yeah, I'm grateful. Anything else you want to put out as we prepare to close out this seventh show, episode number 55 on we gatekeepers of guides, and how seasoned barbers shape the next generation. And y'all, we can build them up or we can tear them down. We can encourage them or we can shut them down and they don't want to come back. So it's really the power of influence that we have can make or break a new barber. So be mindful how you speak to them, how you just be mindful. Just be mindful. Don't be the person you said you wasn't gonna be. That's all I'm gonna say. Don't be that person you said you weren't gonna be when you got in the shop, you got your space, or whatever the case may be. Just don't be that person. Be the
Just grab him
opposite.
in the headlock. Grab him in the headlock and give him a noogie real quick. You know what I'm saying? And tell them this is what they need to listen to. A little hard head stuff. This you need to listen to. Just give them a little noogie. You know, something like that right there to make them listen. They'll be all right. You gotta
All
rough them
right.
up sometimes.
Gotta rough them up. Gotta rough them up. Shantavia says this was
Oh, that's
good.
Gracie.
And oh, Gracie. Hey,
What's
Gracie.
up, Gracie?
I remember that. Gracie. Thank you, Gracie.
Yeah,
We appreciate you.
that's my girl right there. What's up,
Yeah,
Gracie?
thank you for the leadership
That's my
that you
girl.
provide and you offer with your business as well. Because as someone who's been in it, I go to Gracie to get tighten up on some skills as well. You know what I
Gracie the
mean?
bomb, man. That's she.
Man,
When
is
I
she the
tell you,
bomb?
a very talented lady right there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watch her styles coming out of there. I'm telling you, Gracie, that's a bad girl right there. She's the truth. Like
Yes,
for real,
yes.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
I
for
learned
real.
some things from her. She was look at me like you. I was like, no, I still need some help because my technique, something ain't clicking right. But she
Hey,
was very
hey.
patient with me, has always been very patient with me. So
Oh
um
yeah.
you,
I
you
done
got
seen her. Hey, people walk in the shop looking like they just roll out of bed and then they come out that room like it's the same person. Like that's how.
that's how it be, huh? That's how
Yeah, yeah. She like that with them things now.
she's talking about. I'm
Yeah,
trying to be like y'all. You in your own lane. So look,
yeah, for
you
real.
you you holding it down. So y'all, I want to
So
say,
proud of her.
yeah, I am too. I want to say in closing, the future of barbering isn't just about new. The future of barbering isn't just in new hands. It's in how we treat them. We're always gonna have new people coming in, especially and I'm looking at our female barbers. We got to be, you know, uh, um, extra careful with them. You know what I mean? But the future barber isn't in just new hands, it's in how we treat them. Every seasoned barber is part of everyone's story. Wherever you are, we're part of everyone's story. The question is, will you be remembered as a guide or a gatekeeper? That's the real question. Will they remember you as a guide or a gatekeeper? That's all I got. That's all I got. All right, Brandy. Until next time, we coming up the next Fade and Flow show. Um, let me see. I got the topic right here. Hold on. What that topic is, Brandy? We talking about on the next one. Um,
It's in my
oh
phone.
Lord, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Let me get the topic real quick, so y'all will be tuned in for this next one here. Uh, ba, ba, ba. Yeah, the barber, the child, and the village. So we're talking about how barber shops quietly support families and communities. That's what's on the next Fade and Flow show. Catch us first Sunday of March. Um, Other than that, thank y'all for joining. We appreciate y'all tuning in to the Fade and Flow show. If you're joining for the very first time, we got 6 other episodes that we've put down. Very interesting topics, lots of nuggets dropped in them. Thank those of you who tuned in: Gracie, Week Alien, Ladosha. We thank all of y'all for joining with us. We appreciate y'all continued support. That's all I got. Just remember, are you going to be a guide or a gatekeeper with these young folks? Anything else you want to say, Brandy?
Noogie that head. You know what I'm saying? Take that head and just noogie it. They ain't got no choice but to listen or give them a wedgie. One of the two, they'll listen.
They'll
That's
listen. They'll
all.
listen.
That's all
But
I gotta say.
there's power in our influence. Uh, we have to be mindful of that, as owners, as seniors, and take that responsibility and leadership and be intentional about how we guide this next generation of barbers. That's all I got. To ask yourself, are you a guide or a gatekeeper? That's all I'm going to say. You're a guide or a gatekeeper. We out until next first Sunday. Y'all stay tuned. Enjoy. Peace out.
Deuces.
Deuces.
I am real roots pride. I am real roots love. I am real roots naturals, naturals. I am real roots pride. I am real roots love. I am real roots naturals, naturals. I am real roots pride. I am real roots love. I am real roots naturals, naturals.